Gonna have to cut all this out, okay?
I had no more to add. That's okay. I can cut
Good,
that.
cool.
Cut that.
So we're going to cut that.
Alright.
We are witnessing a domestic here live on Scrimshaw.
I'll just try and
got out of my Lamborghini and we could do an alternate thing where one of us is interviewing.
So, hello everyone and welcome back. Today's spotlight is going to be a little bit different. I'm here in the green room of the Roisín Dubh in Galway. I'm joined by...
Daniel.
Shane.
Emmett.
Okay, cool.
Nailed it.
So these three guys make up the successful band The Rosecaps. So Shane, like myself, is in A2 Sligo.
I am indeed.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't tell you that.
No, you're not.
So he agreed to do this interview for Scrimshaw, which was very sound of him.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But if you're not already aware, the Rosecaps have had a huge number of successes for such a young age, particularly over the last couple of years. Since coming together at the young age of, what were you, 16 or 17?
Yes, 16, 17.
Yeah, I think I was 16, you guys were 17 at the time.
They've gone on tour to parts of Europe, opened for Amble and Derry.
Yes.
And your music is constantly growing. I noticed some of your songs have over 50,000 streams on Spotify. 1,800 hours.
One, I think. But
He's lying.
yes, I think it's our biggest 1,800, and it's actually the first one we ever put out. So we're still trying to reach those heights.
You just need to give it 8 years,
Yes.
and then you're good.
I think, okay, great.
All good things.
Good things come to those who wait.
Sorry, like all good things.
So firstly, thank you guys so much for joining me here. Secondly, how are you doing today?
Very good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Okay.
No more questions. No further questions.
I was supposed
Interview
to say
complete.
You were supposed to say excellent.
And do you know why we're feeling really good?
Because you just did our
No,
sound check,
why?
and now we're down.
Because we're headlining the Roisín Dubh
Oh, yeah.
in like 2 hours.
Can you guys tell me a bit about how you actually became a band?
Yeah, so basically we started playing music together in music class in 4th year / leaving cert, whatever we decided we started. And we started doing our practicals, which was much easier marked when we played together rather than just playing individually. So we kind of found a loophole. And then when we did that, Dom had been writing a good few songs himself. He's kind of known about town for it. And a bit, we kind of knew, and he had sent us a couple of songs, and then we started writing with Dom then and started writing together, and then we said, well, we see the likes of Evoke and we see the likes of CEOs playing gigs around Loughrea and like making money off it, so we said, yeah, we'll give that a go, and that's kind of how we started off gigging.
We started off, we did one of our first gigs in Keary's and McNamee's. They were the two pubs we started off in Loughrea with. But I remember there was one time we were gigging at McNamee's, and like Emmett was literally 16, and we came in after school on a Friday in our school uniforms doing a sound check, because back in the day we used to do a sound check for these kind of gigs. And like literally the bar owner, Gary Kilcar, for played room, he's a lovely lad, gave us our start, but he was like, make sure you don't bring any of your friends to this. So I hope none of your friends are coming. We're like, no, because we were literally like, he was 2 years underage. So,
But it's interesting because it's quite common for young people, especially guys, to have a fear of putting themselves out there in front of an audience. So how did you guys manage to get away from that at such a young age?
Actually, do you know what? I think I would put a lot of it down to doing LYT when we were younger.
Woo-woo!
You know all about that?
Represent.
Yeah, high five from Jella, yeah.
That's how I met Emmett and Shane.
Yes. And then actually Dom did it for a year. So for those who don't know, LYT was just Loughrea Youth Theatre. So you do like a show every year and kind of, I don't know, put yourself out there and sing and dance on stage. So that kind of got rid of all the fear of, messing up on stage, because we were so used to it at the time. And then playing instruments, we knew how to play our instruments anyway, and then we started. Well, some of us did.
Who didn't? You didn't.
No,
Shane didn't.
Yeah, I would say that we could all play our instruments.
Well, Shane could play the hell out of that Smith's Toys keyboard.
Yeah. I wasn't remarkable at the start, but I got better, so that's all that matters. Yeah.
Do you think you're remarkable now?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, we have to.
It's definitely it's remarkable. It's not very good, but it's definitely remarkable.
But I think Emmett's dead right with Loughrea Youth Theatre, like getting out
I
on
don't
stage.
remember you in LYT.
No, I just did the year before. I was after you left. I did 1 year of High School Musical. I think LYT. I was gonna say LYT definitely did it, but I feel like even if before we all met, the three of us were fairly outgoing people. Like you were doing grades on piano, you were doing grades on drums, I was doing grades on another instrument. So we were already learning our instruments from a young age, and then
Mhm.
I just feel like we were always kind of singing something.
When did you guys realize then that music was more than just a hobby for you? Or what actually happened that made you realize that this could be something big?
Well, I feel like we could all probably we all have our own answers, but I just know that like we did 2 years of college, and we actually said after the first year, right, we're gonna take a year out
Mm-hmm.
and try and pursue this music thing, and then we kind of got a bit scared. And
That
we
was
got-
in like
we got cold feet.
2021 too?
That would have been 2021, but then we actually said no. Okay, we've no plan. We don't know what we're doing. Let's give ourselves one more year of college, and then we'll take the year out. So that's what we did. We kind of said we stuck to our guns. We did 2 years of college, then we just deferred the year,
Mm.
and that turned into 2 years. We moved into the same house together. We like made a schedule for ourselves. We recorded videos nonstop, wrote nonstop, tried to network all this crack. We did like loads of support acts or support slots in that time, and then eventually we put on our own headline show. It was probably that first headline show where we were like, "Wow, this is something you could do." But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I think I have kind of a different answer, although I agree with everything you're saying. I remember it was in either Leaving Cert or fourth year, I can't remember, but I started to become friends with Dom. He started sending me some of his songs that I'd never heard before, whereas Shane had been friends with him before because they were in the same year. Dom sent me these songs and I hadn't heard them before, and I just thought they were brilliant.
they were
And,
bad.
And
They were not good.
no, they were good, and I instantly thought, "Geez, I could drum to these." So then, the next day in school, we were whatever, we were kind of jamming out, and then eventually we jammed them out, and then I kind of thought, "Jesus, you know what? This is good enough for other people to hear." I'd say.
What about you?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I still don't think I.
I'm still waiting for my moment.
Still waiting for that moment. So yeah,
maybe tonight.
maybe tonight.
Yeah,
Who knows?
maybe
Yeah,
tonight.
hopefully.
We'll do an interview after the show.
Yeah, come
Guys,
back to us and
I just had an unbelievable experience. I realized
I think
we could do this.
Yeah, I think we're actually pretty good.
What was the moment for you that like you actually felt like, wow, like there's something here? Because like I have to admit, like it's very impressive what you guys have achieved. You know,
thank you very much.
three lads from Lochray.
I think like
Again, probably different answers for this.
I think seeing what other bands are doing as well. Like I know you might think that there's not too much music coming out from Lochray, but we have a band that we're quite friendly with, the Clockwork. Sorry, I feel like I always mention them in interviews, but
You have to.
they're kind of they'd be probably a little bit of a step ahead of us at the
The
moment.
Clockworks.
Yeah, so they're a Lochray band, but they're
Oh.
they're very good, and they have 2 albums out. But just even having a band from Lochray, they all went to Rayfields, the same school that we went to, knowing that, seeing what they're doing, you can achieve that in music. So like when we didn't have, like we still don't have an album out, but we've had bodies of work. But just knowing that you can do that is a big thing, and kind of makes you realize, you can do it, and there's people who've done it before.
So you just felt like you were just kind of going with it, following in the steps of
Yeah, kind
those
of. Well, in
guys.
the sense of like, I feel like now I feel like as a Lochray person, you know what, I can do an album that could be wacky to some people, but a lot of people in Germany might love it.
Yeah.
I'd have the confidence to do that.
Yeah,
So.
that's interesting.
I know for a fact that the first headline show we did,
Which was that?
so the first headline show we ever put on was in Dolan's. It was in the Casbah, which is kind of the middle venue. It was about 120 cap.
Oh, in Limerick.
Yeah, in Limerick. Yeah,
okay.
because we kind of had a bit of a college contingency there, and we thought maybe we could fill the
You
room.
go to UL, don't you?
Mary I.
Oh,
Mary Immaculate College, teaching and psychology. Yes, any principals
You will
out
just
there?
get so like taken apart for having all your stuff online, and then
I mean,
teaching.
well, no, you try and keep the band secret from the kids.
Mr. Dom, what
No.
are your subjects, Mr. Dom?
Well, primary school teaching, so
Oh,
all the subjects. You ask you anything.
Okay, first headline gig
Yeah.
in Dowlands.
It was in Dolan's. It was in the Casbah, and it was 120 tickets we had to sell it out. And I there were kind of two moments. The time we sold it out, I remember you two were together. I think he rang me to confirm that we had it sold out. I'll never forget that phone call. I thought, Jesus, we're after putting on a headline show, first ever, and we sold out. And then I'll never forget walking out onto that stage, and we opened with a song called Checklist, which we never ever play anymore. But
I've never heard that. I don't
yeah,
know.
it's out anyways. But we played the opening few bars, and then the singing kicked in. And do you remember everybody sang it back? And I was actually like, whoa, holy damn, holy
Holy
chum.
Dom.
But and then yeah, that was it. And the Olympia was good as well.
Yeah.
When did you play the Olympia?
Olympia was sick. Yeah, we supported the Coronas in the Olympia.
You did not.
Yes, we
Yes.
did.
Do
Yeah.
your research, Jim.
They're playing on the 3rd of May, and I really want to get tickets for them. That's crazy.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was.
That was a big
Danny's
thing.
old friend of ours. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was big. To be honest, when we got over
My
to
jaw is on the floor.
when we when we got to play over in Europe, that was pretty cool.
Yes,
yeah.
please tell me about that.
I think because we obviously had to travel, which we'd never done before, like properly with instruments and doing all the logistics of that. But really felt like, oh, this is like an actual, like we're a band, we're a traveling band here. We
Even
have
though
to,
it was DIY.
it was DIY, yeah, but I mean, we just had to figure out how to get our gear to venues and stuff like that, which we hadn't really thought of before. Like before, we were using like parents to drive and extra cars and all that jazz. But no, I'm talking about the European tour.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So like, I mean, it was just a completely different like scenario where it was really okay. No, we're by ourselves out in a different country, but we're only here because we're a band and people are coming to see us. So that was
Okay,
Yeah.
so what year did you open for the Coronas?
2024, I think.
No,
2020.
It was 24 because I have
24.
it on my.
Wasn't last
No, it wasn't last Christmas. Christmas
Christmas
before.
before.
Oh, sorry, Christmas before last.
2020, Christmas of 2024.
2024, yeah.
Yeah, you opened for the Coronas.
Yeah.
And then when did the
European.
European follow?
That was,
No, it was 2023. Europe was before that, right?
Oh, you toured Europe before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
that's so interesting. And how did that come about?
that was the Clockworks. The lads from Loughrea were
Oh.
doing their own show because they're class and selling out venues around Europe, and invited us to come along. We had supported them around Ireland before. We had done Belfast and Dublin and Galway.
Yeah.
And
Dublin.
Belfast,
no.
Dublin, Galway.
Kerry.
Mike
Yeah.
the Pies.
Yeah, Mike the Pies.
And Galway, and they're just the loveliest lads. And they said, we have slots there to open up the shows for us in different spots in Europe. Would you like to come over? And we said, yes, of course we would do that.
And in fairness to the lads, they handpicked the 3 kind of the busiest gigs that they had abroad just to kind of give us the experience. So it's just very kind of them,
Mm-hmm.
Good lads.
They're very good. Yeah.
Good lads.
And what was that experience like for you guys? What did it feel like coming from literally Loughrea, which is like one street, to doing that?
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't really feel like, oh, like look, we're in the big city kind of thing.
No,
It
it
was
definitely
more
not.
because I mean the venues as well. They were all like they weren't even like these big massive stages or something like that. It was just like this random spot in Rotterdam where it was like a vegan restaurant, and it just all turns into a venue in the middle of the night.
Oh,
Like
wow.
so, it was like really cool. But then they still pack it out. There's still loads of people there.
I know,
So-
some of the venues were huge, in fairness.
Some of them were, yeah, but it just felt more like there's just so many people all over Europe that are just willing to go see these 2 Irish bands playing
Yeah, I
and like love the music, and there's still a love there for it, and it didn't so much feel like we're getting out of the little hick town or anything like that. It felt like we're just going to all the other places around the world, and there's so many different places that enjoy this music as well.
And another thing that was the one thing that was a bit crazy about Europe, though, because I agree with Shane, it didn't really feel. Maybe looking back and looking at the photos, the great photos that Ethan Moran took, that's kind of when you realize,
Oh my God!
wow,
Shout out Ethan Moran.
Shout out
He
Ethan
is
Moran.
Fantastic and a great person. So
a great person, a jack of every trade. Yeah. But I remember, I think it was after our first gig, Brussels. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. We nearly didn't have a drum kit. Shane's piano. Shane ordered the wrong keyboard from the wrong, like the rental place. We got over the line, and then we got back into. We ordered the wrong one. We got back into the camper van because obviously we didn't have a tour bus. We rented out a camper van and drove it across Europe. But we got back to the camper van. We were
Wow.
driving to the next venue. Next thing we see that there's an article written about us in in Belgium. Is that
No,
wait? What do they speak? What do they speak in Brussels?
they speak numerous languages.
It was.
Yeah.
It wasn't French. This was in though.
German and Flemish.
It could have been Flemish. It was either German or Flemish. All about us. It was a bit of a. It was kind of a bit critical. as
That's
well.
great. Oh, really?
There was a few.
What did they say? What did they say?
Well, I remember
No,
them.
because I will contradict everything that this article
Okay,
says.
well,
I'm a big fan.
I remember them saying that we were a bit nervous at the start, and then we got into it, and it was, but like we had to Google translate this article written about us. It was gas, and we were like,
So it was lost. They really loved us, but it was just all lost.
yeah, we lost translation. But like that was one thing where it was like, what is going on? What's happening?
Reviewing our music.
People are reviewing us
Not even our music, our live set.
in a different language. That was a weird little cool moment.
So I suppose that could lead into another question of, you were saying that the article was kind of critical. How do you face much criticism, and how do you take it?
Not a
Yeah,
bit.
because I've never seen it.
Not a bit.
But it's 'cause we're not big enough to get
Everyone
we
loves
just-
us.
we just get like a bit of a ribbon from the lads every now and then if something is like if we do something stupid online. That's the
Yeah, but like your
most of it,
mates,
like.
it's like
Yeah,
you
that's it.
haven't actually faced like
Yeah, we haven't gotten anything critical
because you were in the Irish Times. I've heard.
Yes,
I
it
didn't
was.
actually see,
That
but
was, and
yeah.
that was good. That was all positive.
What did they say?
Oh, right, nice. Yeah, it was a while ago now, but they just said we were one of the up and coming
Up-and-coming.
bands, and yeah, it was just a big up. Like it wasn't critical at all. Like it was just these guys are good. You should check them out.
And we knew
That's all
nothing
it was.
about it, which was funny.
Yeah, we didn't know at
I
all.
remember we've seen it. Oh, sorry. Oh my god! I'm so sorry. We saw it on our Instagram. We actually thought it was a joke or something. We didn't really understand, and then we saw it was in the Irish Times, and we were recording in Camden Studios at the time. So we actually went to the corner shop to buy a physical copy just to make sure, and it was there. It was in the paper.
Nice. And what year was that? Do you
That would have been
remember?
2023, going 2024.
Okay.
And we've been using that quote in every press release since. So thank you, Tony Clayton Lee. One thing I would add to that, though, we don't face a lot of criticism. And in fairness, anything that gets written up about us has always been positive, which we're really delighted about. The one thing that maybe is tough to take, it's not like direct criticism, but I feel like it's almost the lack of criticism, or like you'd almost yeah,
to a degree where
kind of, yeah.
it could be critical, but everything we've seen has been like, oh, these guys are great, yeah, you should check them out. Where instead of somebody being like, okay, I've analyzed your songs and this is what we think of them critically, you know.
And it's by no means by no means a complaint, but it's just like, I suppose that is one thing that we notice is like you got trying to move the needle that one step further, where people are actually criticizing your music and stuff, and you're getting maybe like ratings out of 10 and stuff. That would be cool, and I'm sure we'll get there someday.
I think it would go along with kind of what you're saying about you'd want somebody to care much to that degree, but like I feel like we have tough skin when it comes to like somebody reviewing our song. Like even if they didn't like it, I think it's gone through enough of a system to kind of for us to feel like we like it, because if I brought a song to the lads, they would give that opinion and they would listen to it as if an expert would, you know, and they'd tell me maybe to fix something or if it's great or whatever. Maybe it's not, but I feel like it's gone through enough of a system to then for it to go out to the world. I don't really care what anybody else thinks, because that's what the Rosecaps is, you know. It's our opinions on their music.
And are you like, your system is just the 3 to 4 of you? Oh, the 4 is Shane's brother Daniel's also in the band.
He was too shy.
But he decided he opted out of this interview.
He's restringing my guitar for the Zoom, so thanks for it.
So, what, do you have a manager, or do you just go through it?
Managed at the moment.
Independent.
Completely independent.
Independent at the moment.
Everything from headline shows to marketing to the recording, the releasing, everything we do from our own pocket, our own time, our own energy, and our own effort, and the love of it, really. We had a stint with an agency for a while, and that fell through. They were good lads, and they actually brought us on another level. But we're on our own, and tonight, like say the Roisín Dubh, it's all done. And in fairness, this fella here in the middle does a lot of the organising and a lot of the administration and the stuff that a manager should do. No, he's not the manager, though. I just want to repeat, he's not the manager.
He can never be the manager.
But yeah.
Because you're working here in the Roisín.
I am.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason why.
Well, it's classified information. We had the gig booked for a long time, but just so happened that I started my placement, my ATU placement, about last week, so it lined up now.
Are you drinking that?
Yeah, it just lined up. So I am currently working here, but not tonight, thankfully. I'm not working tonight.
What is your what are your duties like?
Sorry?
In comparison, like, what are you actually doing here?
So I'm just doing event organizing management. I basically.
So you're getting the training that you kind of need for the band.
Yeah, I mean it all works within what we're doing as well, because it's basically the other side. So when I am emailing somebody as the band, then now I'm getting to see who exactly I'm emailing and what they're doing about it. Kind of, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's interesting that way, and just the logistics of it is interesting because I get to eavesdrop on all the other bands as well and see what they're doing.
See what's going on.
Get the insider info.
And who do
Steal
you think
their
is your
money.
biggest competitor?
Our biggest competitor,
Probably
Amble.
Amble, but
You guys opened for Amble.
I know.
Yeah,
and
we
they
hate
will-
them. We hate they're
They
great.
will be
They're not
big. Mark my words.
Oh no.
They are big.
Do you feel like being Irish shapes your music?
It's a great question. At the start,
No.
I don't think
At the start, no, not at all.
I don't think it
I
is.
would have said that I didn't listen to much Irish music, really. I did and I didn't, as in my favourite bands and my big influences weren't Irish.
and we were trying to literally imitate our favorite kind of British bands. I think.
Arctic Monkeys, and then like at the start, it was Oasis, Arctic Monkeys kind of thing. But then after being involved in the music industry, getting actually playing with these people, and like obviously being introduced to so many more amazing Irish bands, then it has changed then, and especially with like the emergence of new kind of Irish music as well, and people like, I know we're banging on about them, but the Clockworks coming out with a really, really full like indie rock kind of sound,
which is literally based like it's Irish centric. Like, it's all about
Irish
Irish
centric, all the
experiences.
lyrics, it's
it's
all
not- it's
about
not
the
folk, like,
Irish
it's-
experience. Seeing them do that then has then influenced us, but I think that initially it probably wasn't too Irish.
Just with the one of our EPs as well was a folk EP, and I don't think I would have been able to write anything like that if I wasn't Irish. Do you know, just the knowledge of hearing songs
Yeah.
like that in a pub.
Because we've
If I
been
was-
to many pubs,
Yeah, like,
many sessions. We
um,
love
we enjoy that
traditional
sort
music.
of music, and
Yeah.
I just like even the chords or maybe even the tuning. I just don't think you'd be immersed in that as much unless you were Irish. But I suppose to answer your question, apart from that, I would probably say no.
I saw your video about the folk X pop.
Oh, yeah.
situation. Yeah.
Guys, the label's on our ass. We need to pick the genre for our album now. Put in your votes.
Are you feeling pressure to define a genre, or is that kind of a joke? Because there is this whole thing about like selling a brand.
Absolutely. You know what? We played it off. We have never been really that good at pigeonholing our sound, and I know everyone says that. Every band is like, "Oh, we don't want to be pigeonholed," but we are literally like the music we listen to, the music we write. It varies from one day to the next, and that is just unavoidable. So then we decided, instead of doing an album, because we were kind of like, well, if we were to do an album, it would be so hard to pick one, not even genre, but subgenre. You know, it would be impossible. So we said, well, why don't we kind of be a bit tongue in cheek and split it up into 3 different genres and make it really, really contrasting and stark.
So
Just
cool. That's so interesting.
almost as a way to prove ourselves as like we love folk. We can write folk. We can write decent folk music. We can write decent rock and roll, and we can write decent kind of pop, catchy indie ballads type thing. But you know, you're right. The pressure was there,
Do
especially.
you feel like you could have went further if you had defined a genre? I feel like your pop songs get quite a good. Like how, like just for example.
Well, every manager would probably agree that we
Yeah.
could have got further if we defined a genre, but there's no fun in that.
Yeah, like I mean, you could say that we could have gotten further in terms of like people listening to our music, but realistically, if we were to stay on just making pop songs, we wouldn't have the same love for it either.
We wouldn't have opened
We
for
wouldn't
Amble
have-
and Derry. We wouldn't
wouldn't
have
have
done
had-
the Clockworks in Europe if
Yeah.
we were like, you know, it's.
We've gotten different opportunities from the different genres and the different way we've leaned. But
That's actually really interesting.
But I think that more importantly, like if we had just stuck to purely pop music and kind of pigeonholed ourselves into that, we wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. Like I mean, the gigs that we play, we do heavy rocky songs, and they're really, really enjoyable. Like I don't, for those songs, I'm not thinking, oh, this is sing along. This is the people are gonna like this. It's just this is more fun, and this
And
is what we're here for. Like, you know,
As Emmett always says when we bring this up, it's like we like to think that there is an underlying Rosecaps energy to everything that we put out, whether it's the production, whether it's the type of melody, even
How
like
would
it
you
all.
define that energy?
I don't know, because I really don't know. Martin Quinn could be a start. He
Yeah.
produced, yeah.
So Martin Quinn, sorry, just to give you some context, he's our producer in Kells in Meath that we record most of
Okay.
our stuff with. When we started working with him he's like the 5th Rosecap, we call him. Well, he was the 4th for a while, but he basically has just been working with us since we've been since we started recording, and
Yeah.
he just gives great feedback and knows exactly if there's something not working in a song, how to fix it and stuff like that. So it
Yeah.
just really,
It's not every producer that could straddle the genres like that either.
Yeah.
in
You know?
fairness, and like he's just very good with us. It's as simple as that, really. Do you know? He knows how to work with us.
Do we have time to ask one more question?
Yeah, one
Yeah.
more.
How did you like get linked with your first producer first, like kind of going into the studio? Like, how did that happen for you? Because I think that like a lot of people that will watch this are to do with uni and they're young and they're wondering how will we break in to something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, we started by Googling studios in Ireland. That's basically what we did. We knew that we wanted to record something. We didn't really use much of like local knowledge or anything. We didn't ask anybody, which we should have, but we just basically looked up all the different studios around the country. We kind of knew of the two main ones up in Dublin, Camden,
But we
and Twinmill.
were picky.
But we went, so we ended up going then to the studios, driving all over the country to see what these studios were like, and then I don't know, yeah, we became picky then because we knew what kind of song we wanted to do, and we kind of knew ourselves as well how we worked in terms of like we wanted a good amount of say in different things, but we also had no idea when it came to sound engineering, so we needed somebody to kind of suit a certain role. So after looking in Limerick and in Clare and in Dublin and all over the shop, it was one of the last studios we actually visited was Martin Quinn.
Jam Studios.
Jam Studios, Martin Quinn, and we just came to him, and he was just.
But
just
the
fit-
one thing
fit
that
the
I
bill.
think is interesting about us is like, we started out like we were again 16, 17. The first time we were in the studio, we were getting our Leaving Cert results back online because of COVID and all that crack.
Yeah.
But for some reason, for whatever reason, maybe it was because of the music we listened to, but we were so determined to do it right, like to go to a studio with loads of electric guitars and a proper producer, instead of like no shade and nothing wrong with it. And like we wish we could like self-produce. We're only kind of getting into that now because we have literally, for whatever reason, even when we were 17, 16, we wanted to
do it right.
do it as to the like as professionally recorded as possible, and people definitely picked up on that and noticed that. And like, this sounds so good for young lads, but it was Martin Quinn's like expertise, and it was his facilities, his equipment, like, and that's one thing that always kind of stood out with us in the early days is we decided to spend a rake of money. We would do cover gigs and spend our money on.
We also had to save it because we were so young at the time that just in your Leaving Cert, if you're busy and you're flat out, but having to save the money to do something you really wanted to do, you want to make sure you do it right. I suppose one thing we can do is recommend Martin as a producer because
if you're starting out,
like if you're starting out,
Is he still your producer?
yeah, so he's still our producer, and we go to him most times when we're recording. We recorded the 3 EPs with him, and you could probably tell by the sound that he produces. I think
I've actually been told by like other people that your sound is like very professional. Like
yeah.
My friend Laura, I was like, I'm interviewing these. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
My best friend Laura, shout out Laura. I sent her your Instagram. I said I'm interviewing these lads on Friday, and she was like, "Wow, your sound is like crisp."
Actually, funny enough, when we were doing when we sent in, so after we worked the first time with Martin, the next single after that, so it would have been the 5th song. It's called The Wall, and we sent that into the radios. And I'll never forget. I think it was with you at the time, and they sent it back, and they were like, "Where did you record this? This sounds so professional," and they hadn't even heard of us. Like, so that just goes to show how good he is.
He's really, really good.
Yeah,
He's really
he's
good.
a lovely man as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Well, thanks very much for
thank
having
you.
us.
Thanks, Gemma.
We'll
Thank you,
share it
Scrimshaw.
and- Oh, what's it called? Scrimshaw. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.